What's going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today I want to talk to you about Faraday Future. I want to go over some of the current data points, what they've been putting out as far as PR, and just generally why I feel that Faraday is trying to just hype up their stock. Before we get into any of that, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So Faraday went up 5.45% on Friday, largely because of the news that they put out on Thursday after hours. So I'm going to go over that in a second. But this week that passed, it did have a low of $1.07, and that's because of Powell. So of course, in case you don't know, he kind of hinted that inflation is anticipated to go to roughly around 2.5% in 2025, a lot higher than the previous forecast or the estimates, as well as I guess there was estimates of 3 rate cuts in 2025. He kind of signaled 2. So market didn't like that. Everything sold off. YT, I guess, considers himself somewhat as a analyst, so felt justified to do a 2-minute and 12-second video on why did stocks plunge after the Fed's rate cut. He goes on to say how that rate cut is essentially good for the tech sector and how it's going to really help companies obtain profitability. This is what my pet peeve is, and I've kind of stated in the past that Faraday did have a good opportunity to flourish, but YT literally has been doing nothing in 2023, and now that it got hype in 2024, now that he's trying to do something. But this video is solely to calm investors, because I still do stand by it, and I've been very much on point with my accuracy with reverse stock splits, but there is going to be a reverse stock split Q1 2025. He does this video to try to calm investors and say, hey, the sell-off isn't justified. So I've never seen someone in his position do these types of videos. So again, this could be seen as essentially trying to hype up investors. So that's point number one. But I've already been very transparent with a lot of you on my Faraday videos. Hopefully a lot of you appreciate that. And I do this for more educational purposes, because I could really give two craps if you are buying, if you're selling, what you're doing. I'm just trying to educate. And in the past, I've talked on how a lot of their toxic convertible debt, how that's very, very damaging and very accurate so far based on their earnings on the level of dilution. But at the same time, I've also been calling them out on, for instance, them stating that they are going to be buying in 2023. That never happened. Even what was stated originally in, I believe it was October, those transactions never occurred. There was no Form 4s to justify that. But beside the point, this right here, this news. So Faraday Future gives FX business update and show first FX prototype mules in Las Vegas, Nevada from January 5th to the 7th. So if we kind of pull this up, this news, it alludes to that between the 5th and the 7th, which coincides with the CES, which is going to be in Las Vegas. Maybe, I don't really understand why they're putting in CES, which yes, it is roughly around that time period, but it starts on the 7th. So this is the official website and it states very, very clearly January 7th to the 10th. And I cover quite a lot of other stocks that are actually participating in this. So it is between the 7th and the 10th, not between the 5th and the 7th. So the way I see what is happening here is Faraday is just going to set up camp somewhere, and they're going to, just because of the timeliness of the CES, they felt justified to put it in there. So then individuals, most likely a lot of not smart individuals, regrettably, will see this and be like, hey, they're actually in CES. This is amazing. This is a huge catalyst for Faraday. It's not. They are not in CES. They're not participating. They don't have a booth. So yeah, this is a kind of a bad scenario. Ultimately, I just see this once again as them trying to hype up investors, and it did work because it went up 5.45%, although the broader market was kind of recovering quite a lot today. But there was also one thing that was posted, I guess it was to Instagram, and it was this. I assume that this individual right here, so it just shows Faraday Future and whatever, but most likely that is this individual. So Swade Brooks, if that's her name. I have no idea who she is, but I've already once again called Faraday out. A lot of those big celebrities such as Chris Brown and whatever else, they didn't pay for their vehicle. They got it for free. As I know that's a shocker, and some people still disagree with me on that, and those individuals clearly just don't know how to read financial statements. But all in all, this most likely is just a marketing ploy to get people hyped up as far as Faraday. So I think there's just a lot of shadiness going on, and regrettably, anytime you do see abnormal spikes based on the volume, it is dilution. And I've pointed this out time and time again. Definitely go over, look at a lot of the terms and conditions and the actual execution price of those convertibles. This is why you do see typically when there's abnormally high volume, it's green, because that is where there's a certain level of dilution. So it is fair to assume on December the 9th there was some dilution occurring, but since then it's been whatever. Even December the 18th, that's very, very low volume. Something's off with that. But beside the point, like I've stated in the past, I just don't see any viable option with Faraday right now being a good investment. Even if you get in right now, in theory, by the time that lower price vehicle comes out late 2025, if everything goes according to plan, then you pretty much are still going to be down another about 80%. That's if you buy in right now. That's just my viewpoint, and you guys can disagree with me on that, but honestly, looking back at all my videos over the last 2 years where I've been covering Faraday, I've been very, very accurate. People just don't want to hear accurate. They want to hear hype. They'd rather me say, hey, you know what? Faraday is going to reverse right now, and it is going to go to $2 on Monday. Then it's going to go to $4 on Tuesday. That's what people care about. So unfortunately, they don't really care about the tough truth, and they'd rather be blinded by false PRs that is just trying to, once again, lure people to buy. And they recently have gone through quite the PR blitz as well, which is another kind of thing that they've done in the past. In 2023, they did that to avoid deficiency with the NASDAQ, which ultimately led to a reverse stock split. They're just trying that again, and you can tell that based on this. They're putting out a ton of news. So December the 4th, 6th, 11th, 12th, 13th, majority of it is all crap. But retail investors absolutely love it. I haven't really popped on Reddit as much as I once was in the past, but even just generally looking at a lot of the people talking about just Faraday, there's just a lot of individuals that regrettably are just at a substantial loss, as you can see based on this individual, down 71%, and they're here just maybe next year, just here to spread hope. That's all people generally do have at this stage in the game, and that is just hope. There is no real good justified reason to buy Faraday right now, and anyone kind of being gullible enough, regrettably, to buy this, you're just going to lose money. But I could be wrong. Hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully Faraday does go to the moon and all the fun jazz and nobody loses any money. But looking back at my videos, I've been pretty much on point. So let me know your thoughts on Faraday. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And then one final thing I want to share with you, though. I did launch a Patreon roughly around a month and a half ago. Since then, I've been giving buy signals on stocks, options, and crypto. Many of them have actually gone up like 50%, some doubled, some even quadrupled in that month and a half. So definitely worthwhile to pop over there and take a look. And so I'll put that in the description below and also the comments. With all that said, though, appreciate all of you watching.